Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the June 18th meeting of the Thousand Oaks City Council. Looks like we're about halfway through the year, and we're rolling along. Speaking of rolling, could I have the roll call, please?
Yes, Councilmember McNamee.
Here.
Councilmember Engler.
Here.
Councilmember Taylor.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Newman.
Here.
And Mayor Adam.
And I'm here. And we do have a closed session. If you'd announce that, Ms. Noonan.
Thank you, Mayor Adam. We actually have 4 closed sessions. The first 2 are conference with legal counsel pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9A. First one is California Department of Housing and Community Development versus Shangri-La. Second one is F. Roberts Construction versus Shangri-La. And the 2 final closed sessions are public employee performance evaluation pursuant to Government Code Section 54957B1. First one is for city attorney, and the second one is for city manager.
Thank you, Ms. Noonan. Stay tuned. We'll be back at 6. And good evening, everyone. We're going to get our meeting started. Ms. Noonan, anything to report?
Nothing to report.
From our closed session, that is. If you all stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Your hands over your heart and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Well, we have a little a little agenda change here. We're going to move up the Council on Aging to come right after the department report on the Jan's Mall. And we do have a special presentation this evening from the Conejo Rec and Park District. I'd like to invite Rochelle Callis and Doug Nichols down to the podium. And how are you this evening? And you're going to give us
And we're
your
ready.
annual report, correct?
Yes. So,
Great.
so good evening, Mayor Adam, council members, staff members. My name is Rochelle Callis, and I'm the Recreation Community Services Director for the Conejo Recreation and Park District. Tonight, I will provide a brief update on some of our partnerships that the City of Thousand Oaks and CRPD share. But more importantly, I'm here to say thank you. Your continued support makes the relationship between our two agencies so very important and special. July is also Park and Recreation Month, and the theme selected this year by the National Recreation and Park Association is Where You Belong. The collaboration of our two agencies have fostered, contribute to the sense of belonging in our community by providing welcoming programs and essential services for all and building meaningful connections throughout our community. So now, if you will sit back and enjoy our presentation, which should be on screens.
Partnerships make our community exceptional. The collaboration between the City of Thousand Oaks and Conejo Recreation and Park District has created some of our community's most cherished places and programs. To start, let's talk about the Goebel Adult Community Center. The Goebel Center is a city-owned facility operated by CRPD that serves approximately 200,000 patrons annually and offers hundreds of enrichment classes, dozens of weekly drop-in programs, monthly themed events, and various social services designed specifically to serve our older adult population. The partnership between CRPD and the city was established in 1975, and the current facility opened to the public in 1991, with a refresh completed in 2023. The Goebel Adult Community Center serves the older adult population of the Conejo Valley and surrounding communities. The space allows adults to be active, socialize, and continue contributing to the community. This past year, in collaboration with the Goebel Senior Center Commission, Recreation Supervisor Patty Ham, Coordinator Mike McAdam, and Administrative Assistant Emily Vines offered a variety of socially stimulating events, including the Veterans Day breakfast, Super Bowl viewing parties, the community garage sale, and monthly themed parties like Brats and Beers, Cinco de Mayo Fiesta, and St. Patrick's Day Party. The Senior Commission also facilitates the popular bingo program, which raises funds to provide additional events at subsidized prices, such as Entertainment Comes Alive, which features quality tribute bands, guest speakers, and historical performances. Also housed within the Goebel Center is the Conejo Senior Volunteer Program. Under the leadership of Julie Spivak, CSVP Program Director, this small department has a very large impact on the community by offering a variety of service programs. Every week, Julie meets one-on-one with adults 55 and above to match them with a partner volunteer agency. CSVP has over 800 registered volunteers who serve approximately 100,000 hours per year. Of those volunteers, over 100 have served over 20,000 hours, specifically with the City of Thousand Oaks. Popular city volunteer programs include the Bank of America Performing Arts Center, Volunteers in Policing, Thousand Oaks and Newbury Park Libraries, and the Council on Aging. CSVP is the lead for the Free Income Tax Program, a collaboration with the IRS, and is available for anyone ages 60 years and older or anyone with an income level of $60,000 or less. The program is in its 34th year, and during this past season, 42 volunteers completed 2,522 tax returns, donated over 5,000 hours, and brought over $1.6 million in refunds back to our community. The CSVP Senior Nutrition Program, funded by a grant through the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging, is a social lunch program for seniors 60 and above. The program takes place at the Goebel Center Monday through Friday from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and utilizes 24 volunteers serving over 2,000 hours per year and approximately 18,000 meals.
I love coming to the Goebel Center because it offers me a chance to get out of the house, to socialize with people my age, to get involved in different activities, and to volunteer to do a lot of different tasks that are needed here at the Goebel Center.
The Thousand Oaks Teen Center, located next door to the Goebel Adult Community Center, is the home of the best backyard in town and a great free place for 7th through 12th graders to hang out with their friends. The facility opened in 1989 and consists of a full-size gym, computer lab, multi-purpose rooms, kitchen, and game room featuring pool tables, ping pong, air hockey, and the latest gaming systems. In 2023, the updated backyard opened to the teens and included a stage, skating facility, and basketball court. Affectionately coined the fabulous Thousand Oaks Teen Center decades ago, the facility has served hundreds of thousands of Conejo Valley teens since opening. The collaboration is unique, in which the Park District owns the land, the city owns the building and provides operational funding, and CRPD staffs and runs it. Recreation Supervisor Sarah Daub and Coordinator Jay Dodwell work together to oversee the Teen Center site and meet with an active Teen Advisory Committee monthly to stay on top of current trends and offer cool programming that draws local youth to the facility. The Teen Center works with Conejo Valley Unified School District, which enhances this collaboration as the site is used for middle school sports leagues and hosts events such as Teen Tech Day. Nonprofit partners such as Safe Passage partner to provide teen clubs in the community and encourage the youth to come to the Teen Center. The Teen Center houses the Youth Outreach Program, a collaboration with CVUSD that has continuously operated for over 40 years. Outreach staff work out of the Teen Center and meet with non-involved and hard-to-reach adolescent students to address needs and provide support and guidance. The Teen Center represents an investment in future leaders of our community and speaks loudly to the youth in the city that the city of Thousand Oaks truly cares about them. The Hillcrest Center for the Arts, a home for budding artists, is another example of a thriving collaboration between the city and the Park District. The facility is owned by the city of Thousand Oaks and operated and funded by CRPD. The partnership agreement established in 2022 between TEO Arts and CRPD has continued to show our local youth that theater arts is strongly supported by this community. The Young Artist Ensemble had over 90 local youth show up to audition for the recent production of The Lightning Thief. Additionally, the collaboration with TEO Arts has made it possible for Young Artist Ensemble performers to get the rare opportunity to perform on the big stage at the Bank of America Performing Arts Plaza. This year, they are excited to be staging Pippin for the annual Teen Summer Musical. The newest collaboration in the early developmental stages is one that directly benefits participants of CRPD's Therapeutic Recreation Unit. Under the direction of the Recreation Supervisor, Devin Herbert, and Coordinator Curran Rakowski, both of whom are certified recreation therapists, programs and activities are designed to maintain or improve the physical, cognitive, and social functioning of participants with disabilities. With a constantly growing need for programmable space, the TR unit will be utilizing a portion of the 401 Hillcrest building, formerly occupied by the National Park Service, to facilitate multiple popular programs, including Adult Social and Friends, Peer Mentor Camp, and Tween Camp. These programs were formerly housed in locations that were no longer available. This new partnership agreement provides comfort to staff and the parents of participants knowing these programs will have an adequate and safe home for the next few program sessions. With that, we want to thank the City of Thousand Oaks for their partnership with us over the past years, and we look forward to what the future holds.
So I hope you enjoyed the recap of our partnership better than me just talking up here with a PowerPoint. So I want to thank our marketing team for doing that. But together, we are a better place where everyone belongs. CRPD, board, and staff, thank you guys for your continued support as we work to make our community great. Now, I would like to introduce Doug Nichols, our Vice Chair of the Conejo Recreation and Park District Board of Directors, who's going to give a little bit of information in regards to our celebration for July.
Thanks, Rochelle, and thank you, council members. Mayor Adam, good to be with you here this evening. You know, we're celebrating July as a Recreation and Park Month, but as you can see from this video, we have recreation year-round here, and we're so blessed to live in this community. And with the association that we have between our agencies, I think the community is blessed with that as well. Now, I mentioned to several of you at our recent concert in the park how not all communities throughout the state enjoy this type of a relationship. In fact, there are a few that are downright adversarial. But this is just a kind of adds emphasis to why we have this partnership and why the community is so proud to be members of the City of Thousand Oaks. You know, I've been here for over 40 years. I know some of you have been here even longer than that. But it just always reflects well on our community, whether it's the volunteers that we have or the facilities that we have. By the way, I did want to mention, while the Goebel Adult Center is often referred to as a senior center, it's just an adult center, so they don't card at the door. You're welcome to come anytime you want for, you know, just the adult. We have the teens next door and the adult center, so you're welcome to come anytime. One thing I just wanted to add to emphasize this was recently we had, last month actually, the California Association of Recreation and Park Districts had our annual conference. And they hand out a few awards for various facilities that have been built over the last year, maybe some that have been refurbished, new facilities for small districts, large districts. And I just wanted to note that this year, the Healing Garden at the Conejo Creek North Park was given the Award of Distinction for 2024. And I wanted to share that because I know some of you know, I don't know if all of you know, that facility and that project was funded by the City of Thousand Oaks. And so that was, again, another joint effort where the Park District kind of managed the project and implemented it, designed it, and the city funded it. And again, it was just another emphasis of how the community wanted this to happen, and we got it done within a year, which is a phenomenal accomplishment. And without the relationship that we have enjoyed, are enjoying, and will enjoy into the future, I just wanted to also add my thanks for your support. You know, any of those major facilities that we have in our city, anything that we have, it has the thumbprint of the City of Thousand Oaks on it just as much as it does the Conejo Recreation and Park District. So thank you, and I also want to encourage you, if you haven't yet, get out and enjoy the parks this summer. I know we have a little bit of heat sometimes, but we had a great showing at our concert in the park in May, and we've got another one coming up July 4th. So come out and join us, and again, thank you for this recognition.
Thank you, Rochelle and Doug. Really appreciate you being here this evening, and really appreciate the quality of life that Conejo Rec and Park brings to Thousand Oaks. We've all been touched by the Park District, whether you spend time in a park or, like myself, my daughter spending time at the teen dances, or my father-in-law spending time at the Goebel Center, swapping stories with his peers. The programs are great for all ages, teens to seniors, and really bring a lot to the city. And I do have a commendation I'd like to present to you if you'd like to come to the podium. And Oh, that's a nice way to start the meeting. And let's see now. On we go to public comments. And I believe we do have a few. Let's see. Our first speaker will be remote, and that will be Carol Shelton.
Yeah, I'll open up the comment period. So this is the time and place for public
Oh,
comments.
yes.
Speakers are requested to state their name and community of residence for record. And as the mayor previously stated, we have one individual who has requested to speak tonight. Speakers are allowed 3 minutes, and the yellow light displays when you have 1 minute remaining.
Yes, it is traditional to announce public comments. Thank you, Ms. McGuire. Now we'll go to Carol Shelton.
Good evening. My name is Carol Shelton, and I am here on behalf of the Autism Society of Ventura County and our advocacy committee. I want to start by saying Happy Autistic Pride Day. Autism Society of Ventura County advocates for local public policies that improve the lives of children and adults with autism. As a mission-based organization, ASVC represents individuals and families living with autism and partners with other local organizations to improve the lives of all marginalized community members in Ventura County. We couldn't miss the opportunity to thank Conejo Recreation and Park District for their commitment to inclusion and accessibility as they give their annual update and a proclamation of National Park and Recreation Month is recognized. While many parks and recreation departments do the bare minimum to support individuals with autism and other disabilities, CRPD offers a wide range of specialized programs for people with disabilities and ensures inclusivity in all of their programming. CRPD goes above and beyond to be inclusive. Autistic people benefit from recreation, exercise, and activities. It is important to them and for them. On a personal note, I want to thank CRPD and the City of Thousand Oaks for their collaboration on the 401 Hillcrest site. Both of my children will be able to benefit from that site in the months to come. This year, ASVC held our annual Day at the Park Day in celebration of Autism Acceptance Month at Old Meadows Park for the first time. It was a great event and we had a great turnout. Finally, to CRPD staff and your board of directors, we thank you for setting a high standard for parks and recreation in Ventura County. Thank you for being a leader and champion for individuals with disabilities. We deeply appreciate it. The Autism Society of Ventura County values your partnership and your dedication to creating enriching spaces for everyone in the Conejo Valley. To learn more about our advocacy committee, please email us at advocacy@autismventura.org. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Carol. All righty, let's go on to the consent calendar. Any items to pull? Mr. Newman?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to pull item O, please.
Item O, all righty. And before we vote, I do believe we have a speaker, Karen Stevens. Karen, come on down. What's the name of your dog?
This is Lou.
Lou?
Lou.
Hi.
And Lou is actually here as an example of my comments.
Ah,
So he's also a service dog. He's got 4 AKC titles. I have material. Los Angeles Times article on the LA County, status of LA County shelters. One is Los Angeles Times on the status of the Los Angeles County animal shelters. And the other is something that I just happen to get every day. I'm on the list for the Ventura County Animal Shelter. It's called Animal Outcomes. So it's just an example, and I wanted to show you.
why don't you pull that mic down in front of you there? There you go.
I'm not loud enough?
Now
Okay.
you're doing, that's
Some people
better.
would disagree with you.
That's
Anyway. Okay, so my name's Karen Stevens. I'm a resident of Thousand Oaks. I've lived here for over 30 years. Part of my reason for coming here was it's beautiful, it's safer, it's slower, it's quieter, and I want to be part of Ventura County. So in my retirement, I do a lot of volunteering, and it happens to be with animals. LA County Shelter, LA City Shelter, Ventura County Animal Services. So, and I'm here today because I know that you're going to take a vote on this contract for 5 years. My hope is that you'll do one of two things and maybe make the contract shorter with a vision towards transitioning to Ventura County services, or withhold the vote right now for further investigation. And I want to just point out some items that I think that are really important to understand. The difference between the services of LA County and Ventura County is light years for animals. And you'll see in the article, they're putting animals to sleep in LA County by the boatloads. And they don't do that in Ventura County. They euthanize an animal if it's severely medical or injured, or really a danger, to the public. They will go to the nth degree to help an animal be adoptable. And those include, they have a rescue reader program. They have little kids come in groups and they read to the dogs through the kennels. They have, for dogs that are reactive, they have a trainer that does nose work. Anyway, I could cite all of that. There's so many interventions LA just doesn't do. So, and they can tell you, we do compassionate care and we don't euthanize. Well, that's not exactly true, because what they do, it's a shell game. They move dogs around. Less desirable dogs will go out to what you have in that article, out to Palmdale, Lancaster, and they're put to sleep. Now, I will introduce my Lou here. He is an alumni from Baldwin Park, and he was pulled for me on the day that they were going to put him to sleep, because he was there for 6 months, and they figured that was too long, and they were putting him to sleep for space. So I've had him 2 years. He's got 4 AKC titles, and he's a
Karen,
registered service dog.
I have to ask you to finish up, please.
Okay, all right. So I want to say in this report, it's saying that LA Agora is closer than the VCAS services. Well, no one really lives in the city hall, and the bulk of the community is to the west, northwest of here, where I live. And Simi is part of the VCAS system. Simi is 3.5 miles from my house. Agora is 7. I have to drive through Oak Park to get to the Agora shelter.
Well, thank you, Karen.
Okay?
Your
So
time
I
is
hope
up,
you'll
but thank-
reconsider. 2 minutes is it's hard.
Thank you for coming down and bringing Lou.
All right.
Okay.
So, let's go.
Thank you very much. We do have an item pulled. It was O, correct? All right, why don't we, let me see if I can get a motion on the balance.
Move the balance of consent.
All right, we have a motion on the floor for the balance from Mr. Engler. And we can vote on that.
And that motion passes 5-0.
All right, and Mr. Newman.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the animal shelter item again. I'd like all of you to imagine that a dog who, for whatever reason, an owner can't keep anymore. Let's say dog's a bit older, maybe 10, 12, 14 years old. Maybe the dog needs medical care, surgery. There's 2 options. Under our current contract, that dog would go to the LA County shelter. If they need surgery, they likely will not get it. If they're not able to be adopted in some amount of time, and it's very dependent on capacity, because LA is very, very over capacity, that dog, as our speaker just noted, will be sent to Lancaster and euthanized. On the other hand, if the dog goes to a shelter in Ventura County, they almost certainly will not be euthanized unless there's some medical emergency or an attack or something that would necessitate that. And they would get significantly higher medical care. Now, the staff report makes an important point that there is number one, there's a big cost difference between the 2 county systems, but I believe that also is a function of the level of care that is provided on the 2 different counties. And on a personal note, I have to say, as a dog owner, we just experienced many months of delay through the LA County system. Every single person we dealt with was compassionate, was professional, was very competent, but also very, very overworked. And my impression of the system, just personally, sample size of one, was of a system that's near collapse. Ventura County, on the other hand, I don't think they have the capacity to accept Thousand Oaks as a customer, not tomorrow. I don't know if the county has the budget to stand up additional capacity to take over for us. So we're in a difficult spot here. I don't think it makes sense to make a change tomorrow because there's just not the capacity to go to Ventura. But I'd like to encourage my colleagues to think about longer term, maybe some transition way we could get there. So maybe instead of approving another 5 years with LA County, which we know to be overworked, overloaded, euthanizing, if we instead work out a shorter term extension for the current contract and then a longer term ramp toward keeping those services right here in Ventura County. So that would be my proposal. Thank you.
Mr. Powers.
Yeah, let me just take a couple points there, and Councilmember Newman is correct in terms of the capacity challenges. Unfortunately, and as our speaker so eloquently pointed out, this is industry-wide. It's an industry-wide challenge. I spoke with the county CEO this morning just to reconfirm a conversation that we had the last dialogue we had around this, and unfortunately, Ventura County is you described near collapse, expressed very similar sentiments in the sense that they have no capacity. The situation has gotten worse over the last several years, not better. And so in speaking with her this morning, even a contemplation of the question of that would require the development of a new facility. That's not currently there for the county, so they're not even able to enter that dialogue at this moment. That said, this is absolutely something that we can bring to the council downstream to have a conversation about, but she was pretty clear in terms of the runway that it would take. And frankly, this council would need to plan budgetarily around that aspect. This particular contract is part of a JPA. It was established in 1996, and there is a term attached to that JPA. It does provide continuity of service on the fiscal year, which is why it's on this ongoing basis. So certainly happy to look to target a time frame for the council to have that conversation. I don't know that we can negotiate term from the dais with them and continue service in that. I don't know that I would feel comfortable committing to the council now that I could get there because I don't know what that would end up looking like.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we do have a consent item in front of us with a 5-year agreement. So we need to vote on that.
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
a question on that. I understand the intricacies of contract law. We can't just make up another contract here from the dais, right? That's certainly the case. However, I do want to ask, what are the severability clauses of that contract? Are we able, if we as a council decide at some later point that we do want to keep this in Ventura County, would we be able to have that capability?
Yeah, so I'll let Mr. Parker step up to the mic. He's Community Development Department, oversees that contract.
Good evening, Council. Pleasure to be here before you this evening. The JPA, the JPA is equipped with an opt-out clause, and just periodically, as a matter of service, we do check to see if there are other options available. So although the terms of this agreement happens to be 5 years, if we can find suitable services other than this, that's something that we'll bring forward at that time.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So there is an out clause, in other words?
Now, what's important to emphasize is we're legally mandated to provide animal control services. So so from that, what he's referring to is finding comparable services in another jurisdiction.
Okay. Well, if circumstances would change, maybe we could. But in the meantime, yes, Mr. Newman.
I'm going to switch. I had initially planned to vote against this, just because I oppose continued services in LA County. I'm going to change that to a yes, and I know this is going to make Ms. Stevens very unhappy, but I want to reiterate something Mr. Powers just said. Which is we have a legal obligation. We have to keep the lights on. We have to keep services running. We have a legal obligation to do that. This is not the end of that conversation. I'm certainly going to continue to advocate for a change. I'm glad to hear that we have good contract negotiators and they put an appropriate contract and appropriate safeguards as CDD always does. I'm glad to hear that animal control is part of that. So this is not the end of that, but because I have a legal responsibility here, I feel duty bound to vote to approve this. And you have my pledge that I will continue to look at this. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, very good. Well, I mean, I think we're all agreed that every time you read the news, these shelters are overwhelmed. Whether it's LA County, Ventura County, they're packed. And it's a real, well, excuse me, ma'am, we can't comment from the audience. And it's a real challenge, and we're all empathetic to animals. And, you know, I'm all in favor of a no-kill shelter when it's possible. And but this evening, we do have a item in front of us. So did you want to make a motion on that, Mr. Newman?
Yeah, I'll move item O.
All right. Have a motion on the floor. Vote, please.
And that motion passes 5-0.
All right, thank you. All righty. Yes. We're going to go to Council on Aging. We moved you up.
Actually, Mr. Mayor, we're going to hear Department Report 12A first, the Jan's Mall item,
Oh, right.
and then Council on Aging.
Then Council on Aging. I'm doing real well tonight. That's 2. One more and I'm out. Let's go with the Jan's Mall report. What do you say? And that will be coming from our Finance Director, Jamie Boscarino. Good evening, Jamie.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Tonight, you are requested to take action on the prepayment and defeasance of the 1994 Community Facilities District Special Tax Bond issue. Tonight, we also have here with me Chris Lynch of Jones Hall, who is our bond counsel, Chelsea Redman, an Assistant Vice President at Fieldman Rollup and Associates, who is our municipal advisor, Sandy Siegel, the Chairman and CEO and President of Newmark Merrill Companies, is here representing the property owners, and Deb Riley is partner at Allen Matkins and is the attorney for the property owners. In 1994, the 2 owners of the Jan's Marketplace Mall requested the city form a community facilities district to fund the construction of public improvements. City Council approved the creation of the district and issued a tax-exempt bond. A continuing property lien was recorded on the parcels to secure the special tax levy used to repay the debt. The debt was issued in 1994. In 2012, the property owners requested that the bonds be refunded to reduce the annual debt service. The 2012 bond was issued with a lower interest rate and a term extension from 2024 to 2031. Currently, there is $12,685,000 in outstanding principal. As part of the financing, the city leased the land to be improved from a property owner. In addition, the city contracted with the property owner to manage the facilities. Much like tax-exempt debt, these agreements require the facilities to be used for public purposes. The property owners informed the city that they intend to prepay their special taxes in full in order to repay the debt and remove the priority special tax lien from the property. The property owners have deposited funds with the city to cover the costs associated with the prepayment. The city engaged Chris Lynch of Jones Hall as our bond counsel and Jim Fabian of Fieldman Rollup as our municipal advisor to assist the city with the transaction. Both Mr. Lynch and Mr. Fabian assisted the city with the 2012 refunding and are familiar with the debt and the property. The ability to prepay the special tax lien was provided for in the bond agreements. In order to redeem the debt in full, City Council needs to approve several actions.
The resolution allows the city manager, finance director, or their designees to take all actions related to the prepayment and the defeasance of the debt. Actions include accepting the prepayment, appointing Bank of New York as escrow agent, executing one or more escrow deposit and trust agreements, appointing of Kazi Dimgan and more to certified funds are sufficient to repay the debt, and recording the cancellations of the special tax liens. The prepayment will defease the bond obligations. This means once the escrow verification agent certifies a parcel has posted sufficient funds to prepay its portion of debt due on 9/1/24, the priority lien will be removed from the parcel. The funds will remain in escrow and used to pay the debt on 9/1. One property owner made the second property tax payment timely in April, but very close to the April 10th deadline. Due to that timing, the payment was not processed by the County of Ventura until April 15th, and therefore was not included with our secured property tax payments apportioned to our city this spring. The special tax will be remitted to the city with other secured property tax receipted after April 10th and on or before June 30th. These funds are typically remitted to the city in late July. While the city fully expects to receive the funds before September 1st, interest payment date, provisions are in place should the funds be received after September 1st. With that, the recommendations are to adopt the resolution providing for the acceptance of prepayments of the special taxes levied in the 1994 Community Facilities District and providing for the defeasance of the 2012 special tax refunding bonds, and to find that this action is not a project as defined under CEQA. And we are available for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Boscarino. Any questions? Either end? Okay. I just have one quick question. If the bonds are paid off, based on our vote this evening, what do all the relationships look like with the parking garage after?
So upon full prepayment and release of the tax lien, we still have the lease agreement, which will be outstanding, and also the maintenance agreement. So those extend past the life of the bond. So the city will still be leasing the parking structure, and Newmark Merrill or Jan's Marketplace will still be doing all of the maintenance and operation of the parking structure. Staff is working with Newmark Merrill on an eventual termination of both those agreements so that the city would no longer be involved in the parking structure. But at this point, those agreements are still in effect.
So Newmark Merrill will still be leasing the garage?
The city leases it, and we contract with them to do all the maintenance operation of the parking structure.
Got it.
It's because this is special tax exempt financing, it's very complicated.
Strike three. That's it. Thank you. Okay. I don't believe we have any speakers. Any further comments from our staff? No. Then I'm looking to the council for discussion and/or a motion. Mr. McNamee?
I'd like to move item 12A, staff recommendations.
All right. We have a motion on the floor. Call for the vote.
And that motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Thank you. Now the Council on Aging, who have been aging as we speak, waiting to come before us. I believe we have Chair Patty Lowndes with us and Co-Chair Tom Neary.
Mr. Neary wasn't able to join us, but I do have one of our commissioners, Gail Janelle, who's joining us this evening. So,
very good.
All right. Good evening, Mayor Adam and council members. My name is Patty Lowndes. I am the chair of the Council on Aging. It's a pleasure to be here this evening to present the 2023-24 Council on Aging Annual Report. Our monthly meetings offered valuable opportunities for us to build and strengthen relationships, learn about various projects, and provide feedback from an older adult perspective. As displayed on the screen, we hosted a diverse array of knowledgeable guest speakers. Topics included everything from the Civic Arts Plaza Campus Master Plan to the Climate and Environmental Action Plan. For the second year, the city proclaimed May as Older Americans Month, recognizing the vital role older adults play in the vibrancy of our neighborhoods and our lives. We are grateful to receive the framed proclamation at the May 7th City Council meeting. Throughout the year, the commissioners actively engaged with the community and worked to increase the awareness of the Council on Aging through revamping flyers and social media content. This year, we worked to promote May 29th as National Senior Health and Fitness Day on social media by creating and starring in a promotional video. In this video, commissioners showcased the fitness equipment located outside the Goebel Adult Center.
Hey, City of Thousand Oaks. My name is Gail, and I'm here with Patty, and I'm here with Nita, and I'm here with Mary Jane. We're all commissioners on the Council on Aging. Did you know that the Goebel Center has an array of fitness equipment for older adults just like you? Join us as we walk you through what you can expect.
At the Goebel Adult Community Center, they promote health and well-being for our incredible older adults in the community. Their fitness zone is designed just for you with equipment that caters to all fitness levels.
And here's the best part. The fitness equipment is located outside, behind the Goebel Center, and is available anytime, making it super convenient for you to drop by whenever it suits your schedule.
It is located right in the heart of Thousand Oaks at 1385 East Jans Road. Easy to find and even easier to fall in love with.
But it's not just about the equipment, it's about the sense of community. Meet like-minded friends, socialize, and make every workout a joyful experience. Plus, take advantage of the beautiful outdoor spaces for a breath of fresh air during your workout or a relaxing stroll. Or stop in afterwards for breakfast or lunch at the Goebel Cafe.
So, did you know all this is available to you? Come join us at the Goebel Center and let's embark on a journey to a healthier, happier you.
See you soon at the Goebel Center, where fitness meets fun.
That was a great video. I think we all
City
did
of
a
Thousand
great
Oaks.
job. Just as a personal note, I use the equipment at the Goebel Center 3 to 4 times a week, and it helped me greatly when I did an Alcatraz swim this past weekend. Whereas an older adult, I came in 3rd place in my age division. So thank you. And thank you, Doug, if you're still here. If he isn't, I wanted to thank the CRPD for that as well. But I'll move on. The 2024 Wellness Festival was a great success. It took place at the Goebel Center on January 17th, 2024. The Council on Aging hosted a booth to hand out swag, which is very popular, and provide information. The Wellness Festival is a key event to connect older adults to much-needed resources. The Council on Aging also created a 30-page directory which provides older adults with much-needed information on community resources. This guide is available in large print, and almost 1,000 printed copies have already been distributed throughout the community. A digital version is also available on the city's website, www.toaks.co/olderadults. Also, printed flyers with a QR code that directs you to a digital version of the directory are available at the Goebel Center. Commissioners continue to deepen relationships across the community, as well as provide updates and information with organizations through serving as a liaison. Liaison positions are listed on the screen and included a wide range of organizations addressing older adult issues throughout the community. A summary of commissioner experiences is included as an attachment, which is attachment number 1 to the staff report. It's been a wonderful year. In program year 2024 and 25, the Council on Aging will seek direction from the City Manager's Office on potential projects and activities that support the duties of the Council on Aging. As we conclude our presentation, we want to thank you again for having us this evening. Senior Administrative Specialist Whitney Luxemberger, myself are available for your questions.
Thank you, Patty.
Sure,
Like
thank you.
that video. Doing the crunches, working that core, huh?
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
Got to stay active.
yes,
You know,
absolutely.
The city be around long enough someday where kids that went to the teen center will eventually end up at the Goebel Center. I don't think, we're not quite there yet, are we? But someday,
Yes, and it'll be just as great as it is today,
full circle.
right? That's what
Amazing.
we want, yes.
Amazing. Mr. Newman, did you have a comment?
Nothing on the report other than my gratitude. I, again, want to congratulate you on your third place age group. I can't imagine getting in shark-infested water. We only do that figuratively, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Engler?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, and thank you so much for what you're doing on the Council of Aging. My question, I think, is really, is there anything that we are missing as a city that you can bring to either your staff person or to the council today that you would like to bring forward that we should be doing or that we're not doing? I know we're doing everything very, very well already, but is there anything we're missing?
I think from my perspective, we've done a lot of work, obviously, making the community aware of the Council on Aging. When I first came on to the council, I remember being excited and telling my friends and neighbors, you know, hey, the Council on Aging, I'm going to be a commissioner, and they're all, Council on Aging, what's that, right? So we've tried really hard to make ourselves visible within the community, having meetings at the Goebel Center and then switching back here to the city hall. And I think what I would like to see is more interaction with all of you. Would love it if you could find time in your busy schedule, and I know you are very busy, to attend one of our meetings during one of the months, if you're available, and just to come in and see what we've got on our agenda. If there are items or issues that are brought to your attention during the council meeting that you feel we would be of benefit to provide perspective and opinion for you as you do your decision-making, I think that would be absolutely great. And again, we will continue to make ourselves seen within the community, but would really appreciate your participation with us as you can at our meetings. I think it would be very helpful and would probably increase the number of folks who actually come to our meetings.
Mr. Newman?
Thank you, Mayor. And just following up on that, I couldn't agree more, and I'd be happy to attend anytime. Really echoing what you're saying, one of the comments I've heard from various residents is a sense of not knowing what's going on in different parts of the city or parts of city government. So whatever we can do together to work on that, it's like all communications, a two-way street. So let's keep working together on that. I think there's a need for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? All right.
Well, I just say you definitely provide a vital service. I believe about 20% of our city are older people, seniors. That's about 25,000 people. So, and it's growing. So we thank you for what you do.
Thank you. We'll look forward to interaction with the council in the future.
Thank you for coming down. Oh, and we do need a motion to receive the report, Mr. McNamee.
Mayor, I'd like to move 13A, recommendations to accept the report.
And we have a motion on the floor. If we'll vote, please.
Just a moment, Mayor. The system is thinking about it.
Want to do a verbal?
I'm going to go ahead and do a verbal vote. Yes. Councilmember Engler?
Yes.
Councilmember McNamee?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Newman?
Aye.
And Mayor Adam?
Yes.
And that motion passes 5-0.
I did. Thank you. And now we move along to another department report on the Thousand Oaks Alliance for the Arts operations and programming update. I believe David Mead will give us that report. No, he won't. Okay.
David, would you like to give the report?
Okay.
All right. Good evening, Mayor Adam, council members, city staff, community. My name is Kyle Rohrbach. I serve on TO Arts on the board as vice chair on the board of directors, and on behalf of the board, it is my pleasure to present our annual report covering TO Arts operations and programming for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024. And I apologize, I do not have a workout video for you, but I promise you next report will include Jonathan Surratt starring in one for you. So we're going to start with some topics on governance. Start on a bit of a somber note. As you know, TO Arts lost 2 powerhouse board members in the last year, Eloise Cohen and Kathy Jeffers-Volk, and we still feel their loss greatly. And while their individualities obviously cannot be replaced, this year the board did welcome Karen Davis and Keith Wintermute as 2 new board members. They're off to a really great start. Diversity, equity, inclusion are not simply buzzwords for us, not just a checkbox initiative, but not just a statement on our website. They are qualities in which are ingrained in TO Arts programs and integrated into what we do for the community. And on that note, last year, TO Arts staff convened an inclusive advisory council comprised of key leaders representing diverse communities to help inform and advise staff on programming and other initiatives in support of our overarching vision for our community to be a place where the arts thrive for all. One important recommendation from the Inclusive Advisory Committee was to consider arts programming in non-traditional spaces, encouraging us to take performances to where people already gather for other services. So an example of this, it led us to invite David Gonzalez, who is a bilingual poet and storyteller, to do a week-long residency in our community. He led storytelling workshops and performances with several organizations. Notably, David performed in the triage room of the Westminster Free Clinic as people waited for their medical appointments. He shared with us that in his 40 years as a performer, this was his first time performing at a free clinic. People laughed, they cried, they danced, and they engaged with him. And those who attended said it was transformative, was a word that we heard a lot. So we're really proud of bringing David out and thank him for his participation. Moving on to a bit about finance. The board reviewed and accepted our annual independent audit report for the fiscal year of 22-23 at a special meeting on June 10th of this year. The audit report provides a positive written opinion on the auditor with no negative findings regarding TO Arts financial statements from July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. TO Arts is extremely grateful for the support of our many community members. Donations this year included recurring monthly contributions, multi-year pledges, and a legacy gift from a donor's estate. After 7 years of incredible support from the finance team of the City of Thousand Oaks, I pointed over to them, they're not sitting on the dais anymore, TO Arts transitioned to now independently manages its own books with the help of an independent bookkeeping firm under the supervision of our board treasurer. We greatly appreciate the assistance of Jamie Boscarino and her team. In particular, would like to express our sincere gratitude for Blanca and Jane. Truly, someone who sits on that board and listens to their reports and the work that they did for us, it really is impressive, and you as City Council should be proud. Moving on to workforce development, TO Arts launched 2 new programs geared towards high school and college students to provide basic life skills training in areas such as budgeting, time, project management, and marketing, while introducing themselves to diverse arts careers through a series of guest speakers who all work in the arts industry in careers ranging from screenwriting, songwriting, event production, marketing, and more. During the Summer Advanced Theater Conservatory, students created original pieces to produce and perform on the Kavli stage with the help of award-winning directors, designers, and performers. Applications for this year's Summer Conservatory are currently open and can be found on the TO Arts website. This year's group will be performing on stage here in the Share Forum on July 30th. We welcome you to please consider joining us in watching their performances this summer. One that's near and dear to my heart because my kid participated in it is the Youth Arts Leadership Academy program. They belovingly called it YALA, Y-A-L-A. It's a year-round program where, apart from the above-mentioned life development, skills, and arts career exposure, the cohort was charged with creating a capstone project that would benefit the community. The inaugural cohort, who aptly chose the guinea pig as their mascot, kid you not, they made t-shirts with guinea pigs on them, decided to produce a free arts festival on the lawns of the Civic Arts Plaza, complete with food trucks, small businesses, art vendors, visual displays, live performances, and a create station provided by Art Trek, amongst other opportunities for engagement. They managed a budget, communicated with vendors, identified necessary licenses, and stage managed, emceed the lineup of the diverse talent, which they sourced from local area high schools. The event was on May 25th. It went from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. and was attended by an estimated 500 people. And this was their first time out, so very impressive and really proud of them. I will also note that the young member who was our treasurer and prepared the budget prepared a full multi-page, multi-lined Excel budget. We were extremely impressed and would be interested in a career with him moving forward if any of you need a treasurer. Attendees shared their enjoyment of this festival, and YALA cohort received praise from many of the vendors for being a well-organized event. When I say that they produced the entire event on their own, they produced the entire event on their own. It was extremely impressive. Moving on to arts education. Arts education is obviously a significant focus for us, and through Access Arts, we support elementary schools to provide high-quality arts education to students throughout Ventura County and northern Los Angeles County. This year, TO Arts helped Madronia build a performing arts lab, provided dance lessons at Westlake Hills, and theater arts at Ladera Stars, amongst others. We believe that the exposure and experimental learning is a key form of arts education for elementary schools and their students. So not only do they learn from watching a live theatrical performance, they also learn how to participate as a member of the audience, listening, watching respectfully, applause at the appropriate time, all the things that we take for granted now, they're learning through Access Arts in these programs. Things like entering and exiting venue in an orderly manner, interacting with venue ambassadors to be guided to their seats. This year, we were able to provide free tickets and transportation to over 7,000 students and teachers. This is a 100% increase from last year, representing 85 schools to see 3 different shows. Those shows were the CWAM Native American Dance performance, Thomas and the Library Lady, and North, a jazz-based musical that told the story of the Underground Railroad. Again this year, the Westlake Women's Club donated and delivered the Thomas and the Library Lady book to 63 classrooms before the performance. This additional resource was obviously very well received in the classroom by teachers, as the students were better equipped to understand the play that they were about to experience. And finally, on this topic, through our TO Arts Trailblazers series, we brought 4 National Geographic speakers to the 4 high schools in the Conejo Valley. These explorers shared their incredible stories with the 1,200 students, and every time we meet them and speak with these, the National Geographic speakers, they talk about how incredible our students are here. So we're very proud of them and excited for that program. Moving on to community support. Conejo Valley Youth Open Mic Night is the brainchild of a local singer-songwriter and rising sophomore at Thousand Oaks High School, While she was still in middle school, Gabby Montiel approached TO Arts to support her vision of a space for youth artists to perform in a judgment-free zone. So it was our pleasure to partner with her, and it has been a real joy to watch this endeavor expand to where they have had to turn people away due to standing room only at their most recent event. Again, she is a sophomore in high school. Extremely, extremely impressive. Through the Dr. Raymond Olson Performance Grants Program, we continue to provide grant funding to the resident companies as well as other local nonprofit performing arts groups. This year, TO Arts distributed $145,000 in grant funding to help offset the costs of renting the Bank of America Performing Arts Center theaters. The resident company audience development project continues in its second year with Consortium Media, whose CEO presented to our council last year with their findings of the survey. They are now working to create strategies to increase brand awareness and loyalty to both the venue as a community staple and for the 3 resident companies. Moving on to community involvement. TO Arts continued its support of the Thousand Oaks Pop-Up Arts and Music Festival by sponsoring 2 of the 10 artists in this year's lineup. Additionally, we were a sponsor of the Museum of Ventura County's celebrations of Ventura County's 150th anniversary. We were thrilled to support the return of the Turkey Trot and continue to sponsor CLU's Center for Nonprofit Leadership's State of the Sector event. We are proud sponsors of the Chamber's annual recognition gala as well as the City of Thousand Oaks State of the City of Dress. New this year, we were a sponsor at the California Presenters Conference, which is an annual gathering for the consortia of arts presenters across California. Both the executive director and the associate director serve in many different leadership and mentorship capacities in the community, beyond serving on boards, speaking at professional conferences, and mentoring the next generation of professional arts leaders and nonprofit fundraisers. In partnership with the County of Ventura's Office of Arts and Culture, TO Arts co-presented and was a lead sponsor of Reframe VC, a first-of-its-kind summit to gather the arts community for a day of connection, inspiration, education. With a keynote speaker, breakout sessions, a panel on advocacy, and even a group dance activity followed by a networking hour, this was the first time both East and West County arts leaders, artists, and culture bearers found a common space to gather and learn from each other and forge new connections. We are continuing our relationship as an operational partner for the Young Artists Ensemble, which you heard a little bit about earlier tonight. This group is responsible for a number of fantastic productions presented at the Hillcrest Center for the Arts and for producing the long-standing Teen Summer Musical. This year, they are presenting the incredible production of Phantom of the Opera, Student Edition, which will be here in the Sheriff Forum Theater in July. Speaking of performances, this year, TO Arts presented 52 performances between the Sheriff Forum and Fred Cavley Theaters, with another 4 at the Stagecoach Inn Museum as part of our TO Arts After Dark series. These performances attracted more than 52,000 patrons. As in-house presenter of the Bank of America Performing Arts Center, TO Arts is pleased to continue to present a diverse lineup of performances through our TO Arts Presents events, Kids in the Arts field trips, and the theater rental grants we provided. TO Arts contributed more than 120 days of use between the 2 theaters. In partnership with the Library Services Department, Friends of the Library and Cultural Affairs Department, TO Arts presented composer and guitarist Kaki King in a free concert at the Grant Brimhall Library. It was so well received that we are planning to make collaborations like this a regular occurrence. Additionally, we presented After Dark at Stagecoach, a fun festival-style outdoor concert which features an eclectic and unique lineup of entertainment. This series is curated to present fresh and compelling artists to engage a diverse audience. Last year, we presented 4 shows to a total audience of approximately 1,200 people. If you have not been, I recommend you go. It is a beautiful evening out. Let's take a look at the year ahead. On October 25th, we are hosting a fundraising event at the Fred Cavley Theater to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Thousand Oaks Civic Arts Plaza. Tickets are currently on sale, and we hope you will consider attending to support TO Arts and the Bank of America Performing Arts Center. So far, we have confirmed 45 performances for the upcoming year, and will continue to add more performances throughout the season. TO Arts has adopted a $1.6 million operations budget for this year, and as part of that, we are developing new programs to support youth in the arts in diverse and relevant ways, in addition to presenting 3 field trips which are aligned with their curriculum. Later this summer, we are presenting Alejandro Bertes, an Argentinian composer and accordionist who will do master classes with 3 high schools and a free public performance at the Grant Brimhall Library. Speaking of upcoming performances, I get to be the exciting person that gets to tell you what we've already got on the lineup for this coming year. We are developing an incredible lineup of artists, including Tom Segura, John Anderson, Bonnie Raitt, Andy Grammer, Black Violin, ZZ Top, Genuine and Montel Jordan, Yachtly Crew, Rick Springfield and Richard Marks, Jesse Cook, and more, which will be announced in the coming weeks. Program growth and staffing is up next. Since TO Arts began in 2017, we have seen significant growth in programs and our community impact. This is in addition to the workload of donor engagement, financial reporting, and processes with the bookkeeping firm, fundraising, and development. As a reminder, currently, TO Arts reimburses the city for the full cost of personnel relating to the full-time TO Arts Associate Director and part-time Development and Program Coordinator. Per the MOU between TO Arts and the city, additional pro bono support is provided by various city staff. The TO Arts Board recognizes the increased workload comes along with our expanded programming and outreach. As a part of our adopted fiscal year 2024-2025 operating budget, the board has increased the budget for personnel costs and is requesting the city to move the Development and Program Coordinator from a part-time hourly position to a limited term full-time position. TO Arts remains committed to 100% reimbursement of the personnel costs associated with those 2 full-time positions. I will speak off script for a minute here and say, as a board member who watches our staff, primarily our Associate Director, Nikki Richardson, and our Executive Director, Jonathan Surrett, you heard just now all of the work that we do as a board and organization. For 1 dedicated full-time staff member and 2 semi-dedicated and a part-time staff member to handle all of that is extremely, extremely impressive. And we are extremely grateful for the work that they do currently and are very much looking forward to being able to contribute more capacity to their workload. So, as I wrap this up, I say sincerely, we appreciate your consideration of the recommendations before you, and on behalf of the TO Arts Board and staff, and the millions of patrons and students whose lives have been enriched by attending performances at the Bank of America Performing Arts Center, thank you for your committed and continued support of our efforts and activities. I know I have seen many of you at our events, and I am personally grateful for your support. Executive Director Jonathan Surrett and I are here to answer any questions you might have, and that concludes our report.
Thank you, Mr. Roebuck. Very encouraging report, and personally, thank you for your commitment to our community. You have a great spirit of volunteerism. It's much appreciated.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, truly.
Sounds like TO Arts is flourishing.
We are, it's really a treat to be, normally our chair, David Mead, and I should also say thank you to my entire board who does this as a collaboration, is the one who would deliver this report to you. And in his absence, I'm able to do this for you. And it was a really nice opportunity to be able to take a high-level reflection of all of the work that we do. I'm entering my personal 4th year on the board and beginning my 2nd term, and where we came from even in those last 4 years is remarkable. So thank you. I'm glad you recognize that, and we've got a lot of plans to continue to grow and be an impact on our community.
Mr. Newman.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Rohrbach. The breadth of programming and especially the educational component, really impressive. So congratulations to you and the board and staff. Really, really well done. I'll follow up with a question Councilmember Engler asked of our previous speaker on our last item on what more we can do. What is it that we're not doing? I have 2 personal interests in this, but I'll ask it about the arts program in general. But the personal things I'd throw out there would be in the areas of the visual arts and of public art. particularly since we'll be talking about the campus master plan and really anywhere citywide. So those are two areas of personal interest, but I'll leave it open to you to address what more we can be doing in general.
Thank you. I really appreciate that question. And I'll answer on my behalf, and I'd also love for Mr. Surratt to give his opinion as executive director as well. Certainly, first, the most immediate thing the council can do is to consider and support the recommendations in front of you, particularly the transition of our part-time development coordinator to full-time. Like I said earlier, that will immediately make a direct impact on our operational capacity to get all of this vision and work done. And secondly, I'll echo what the other organization said earlier this evening, which is awareness. I am still surprised at the number of folks that I speak to in the community when I talk about TO Arts. There's kind of a raised eyebrow about who are you and what are you doing. And the truth is, as we all know, there is a lot that's happening here, and half of the battle is community support. It certainly is donations and monetary contributions, but it's also attendance at programs. It's the encouragement to bring new folks into the arts. And like you said, as it relates to arts education, there are so many opportunities on the table for young, potential, inspiring, and budding artists to participate in arts programs. But they have to know about these programs in order to take advantage of it. So any opportunities where there's interdepartmental opportunities to collaborate or promote some of the programs that we're doing, awareness is something that we talk about a lot in our board meetings. So that's something that I would say from a very high level, but would love for Jonathan to opine as executive director.
Thank you, Mr. Rohrbach, and thank you for the question, Councilmember Newman. In terms of visual arts, the city maintains a visual arts program as part of our general fund allocation for those programs that are outside of the traditional elements of the Theaters Fund. That also includes the Pop-Up Arts and Music Festival, which is currently going on throughout the rest of the month of June. One of the exciting things that we get to do in the Fred Kavli Theater is that we do get to rotate the exhibitions, the visual arts exhibitions, through the gallery space in the lobby about 4 times a year. One of the struggles that we have is that is labor intensive, and it does take staff time to be able to curate and set those up. So that is one area where we find ourselves slightly hampered just because of the workload that we have. Certainly adding or converting this part-time position into a full-time position will allocate some additional resource for us as well to be able to do that. One of the other elements that we have is the current and upcoming merger of the Cultural Affairs and the Library departments into a Cultural and Community Services department. With this, we'll have more of a holistic approach and ability to take a long-term look at the use of both the Fred Kavli Theater Gallery as well as the Thousand Oaks Community Gallery, which is over at the Borchard Newbury Park Library site. So we look forward to looking at both of those in a more holistic and collaborative approach. And then you also brought up public art. And while it's certainly a part of something that TO Arts can contribute to, and certainly the board would be able to provide input into public art, one of the things that we have found is that the City of Thousand Oaks does not have a public art policy. So it is it is in the work plan for the Cultural Affairs Department. It is one of our goals this year to bring before you later this fall a public art policy for consideration and adoption, which would then allow us to be able to engage in more robust discussion about future public art policy.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear this is on the drawing board. Thank you both very much.
Mr. Engler.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for the presentation, and also for the hard work you've been doing, not only on the board, but in coordination with our staff. My question really is an echo, I think, of Mr. Newman's. We have such a great, and you mentioned DEI approach on a lot of the performing arts. And I was at one of the pop-up concerts a couple of days ago. If anyone wants to have a good Friday, Saturday night out, go to one of these concerts. There's a diversity of music that you will not find anywhere in Ventura County, free in our parks. And the presentations of our performing arts is second to none. I was at a League of Cities event the other day when one of the people who comes from Ontario mentioned how she drove to Thousand Oaks to see a performance at our Performing Arts Center. So we have a reputation throughout the area and throughout Southern California for quality, well-presented performing arts. I think our next phase now will be more in the visual arts and making efforts there. I'm not expecting anything in the next day or two, but I think that's our next step. And I think by combining our library and our cultural affairs into one organization will help us with that. And I fully support this full-time position that you're asking for because of the reasons that I think we can expand art in the community.
Thank you, Mr. Engel. I appreciate that. I don't know if there was a question buried in there, but I will just say that, obviously, the more that we can do to make community art accessible to all of Thousand Oaks, the better it is for all of our residents, right? We obviously focus a lot on DEI as part of our mission of inclusivity, but the truth is access to arts is imperative for every resident in the city of Thousand Oaks. And so that's why one of our key visions and missions is to be a place where the arts thrive for all. And so more collaborations like what we can do at the library, more opportunities like we have at Stagecoach, and any other ideas and encouragement that you all have about potential opportunities to be able to work together interdepartmentally with other city agencies and departments to provide opportunities like that are really exciting to us to be able to provide access.
Well, I think the library is an ideal spot for some innovative programming that really reinvent the library and make it more accessible and more valuable to the community than it already is. So that's exciting. And it was great to see 7,000 kids get free transportation and free performance. 3 of them, I believe. That's great.
It's extremely inspiring.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, barely remember, we were sent to see a performance of Peter and the Wolf. I think I was in 3rd grade. And here, all these years later, I still remember that, made an impression on me. I think it's somewhere in the fossil records, you'll find that. But no, these kind of things have an effect on children's lives, and it could steer them in a direction that they might not already go. So really appreciate that. All right, shall we get a motion to receive the report? And
I'm happy to receive the report. And
all right, Mr. Engler and Mr. Newman, you have a comment to the motion? Oh, okay. Well, then we're going to vote. If you cue us up, please.
That motion passes 5-0.
Thanks again, Mr. Rohrbach. Appreciate the work you do.
Thank you.
All right, and we're going to wrap it up this evening with a department report on benefits and compensation, and Tim Giles, our Human Resources Director, will present that to us. Mr. Giles.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Seems like I always get the last presentation of the evening, and there's not much to say at that point. The presentation I have for you is regarding our benefits and compensation resolution for our executive managers. As we were just talking on the last item, we are having an opportunity to achieve some efficiencies within the organization by having our library services and our theater services administered by a single executive team under the management of a single department. There's an alignment of those 2 departments, both very much community-facing and community-focused in delivering their services. And so to have a single leadership over those functions is a great opportunity for the city. For the public, we would say first and foremost that they will still be able to interact with the library and the theaters much in the same way that they have up to this point. However, in addition to that, as Mr. Rohrbach pointed out, as the mayor commented and others, there's exciting new opportunities that will be brought about by the collaboration of these 2 departments. The item before you is only a minor change to the executive resolution to be able to effectuate that. It is to change the classifications. In other words, the job titles that we have available in our executive ranks. We would not have a library director or a community affairs director. We would have a director of culture and community services. And so that is the essence of the change. We have one other minor update change, which is merely to reflect the car allowance pursuant to the escalator that is already in the resolution, and there's no change with that. So there's no fiscal impact from any of these changes. It is merely looking at changing the allocated classifications that we're able to hire. And I'm available for any questions. The recommendation is to adopt the resolution amending the schedule of positions in the executive manager's benefit and compensation resolution and rescinding resolution number 2023-042, and find that the action is not a project as defined under CEQA.
Questions for Mr. Giles? If not, a motion? Mr. Taylor?
I'll move, I just got covered. 12C, and find that this is not a violation of CEQA.
All right, let's vote, please.
That motion passes 5-0.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Powers, what do we have to look forward to?
Oh, a couple
On
weeks
July
out,
2nd.
July the 2nd, we'll be back together. We have a comparatively light agenda for that evening. It is still a very important meeting, as it'll be our last meeting before the recess, so there's a lot of procedural and contractual items that will be moving forward. We'll also receive a report from our Youth Commission for their annual report, and feedback on the NLC Summer Board and Leadership Meeting. So those are the items that we have slated for that evening. That is the 2nd of July. Obviously a busy week with 4th of July out there.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. Interesting evening, discussed a lot of things that make the city of Thousand Oaks a great one and really provide an excellent quality of life, whether it's to our aging population, to our teens, through our arts, and all the things we do to make this a great city to live in. Very happy to hear those reports this evening. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting to July 2nd. Thank you.